When we multiply complex numbers, we use the distribution property, or we can FOIL. So in our example here, since I have two binomials, I'm going to end up FOILing, which is distribution 4 times. And the biggest thing to know here is that when I have my I squared, it's equivalent to a -1. So when I simplify my equation and I end up with an I squared, I'm going to replace it with a -1 and continue to simplify the problem. So let's start to FOIL. I'm going to start with my first numbers and go 2 to -3, and I multiply to give me a -6. And then 2 times a -7i will give me a -14i. Then I have 5i times a -3 to give me a -15i. And then a 5i times a -7i to give me a -35i squared. I can combine my like terms in the middle of the -14i minus 15i to give me a -6 subtract 29i minus 35i squared. Now here on my -35 I have an I squared, so I'm going to replace that I squared with -1. So I really have a -35 times a -1, which would end up with a positive 35. Now that's -6 in the front and the 35 can combine since they are like terms, and it'll give me a positive 29 minus 29i. The real number always comes first, and the number with the I will come second.